Hello everyone, it's Kay here, and I'm here today to do one or two things, to talk about one or two things I should say. One of them being, I've been asked by a few people about how I put my handbag albums together. Now, as I explained when I first did one of these, it wasn't my concept. It was a lady called Marie Scrapping who had done something along the same lines for a hop that she had joined. But in any event, for ladies in the UK again, and anyone that hasn't seen how to do it, all you need basically are some manufactured paper bags. Now, they can be the string handles like I've got here, or they can be the card and paper handles. These I actually got from The Works, a shop in the UK, and you can see they were only £1, and they call them craft bags. Now, I did go in to get some more because I've done quite a few of these albums, because they are such a delight to do, and when you're needing to build up your confidence and break a little bit of loss of mojo, this is just a lovely way to go about it. They do still have the bags, but now it's 3 for £1, so they're still available, and I believe, I don't know because I've not measured them precisely, but I believe they are a little bit smaller than these, so they are readily available in the UK. The thing you also need when you're making one of these are some little sleeve holders, I'd guess you'd call them, I don't know. Roughly speaking, it's a piece of card that's a little bit shorter than the bag. You need to mitre the corners or wedge the corners because of the design of the bag with the little pocket there, but it sits there beautifully. Don't worry if the end runs over the bag, that's easily remedied. All you need to do obviously is just cut it off, and then depending on how you want the bag to go, whether you want a pocket on the front or a pocket inside, you would anchor this down on the inside with some red line tape or a really strong adhesive. Affix that to your first bag like so. Put more adhesive on the front here and anchor in the next bag, lining them up like so, very carefully, and then it's entirely up to you whether you then close the gusset or leave the gusset open. I tend to close it just because it's tidier, and then you still have your top loading pocket as well as a pocket on the front here for putting things into. You need to remove the handles, needless to say. No handbag has umpteen handles, and that's very easily done because they're only actually held in with a double piece of card, and it's not a strong card. It's firm enough to hold on to the string handles, but you would take every handle out of each bag apart from the handle on the front and the handle on what would be the back bag. All the other handles get taken out, and then it's a question of notching in the centre here, because that is a pocket and it's quite a deep pocket, as you can see, and so you do want to be able to get into it securely and safely to either put goodies into it or take goodies out of it indeed. So that is the principle. Once you've actually put your bag together, trimmed off all the edges, decided whether you want the gussets to be open or closed, you then go on to decorating, and that's where I go on to the next bit now. I have purchased another kit from, oh my god, Vintage Garden, EphemeraVintage Garden. I do apologise, I'm a bit tired here today. So EphemeraVintage Garden, the lady is called Debbie, and she has not only a Facebook page, but she also has a store on Etsy where she sells her digital kits. And this kit, believe it or not, was in the clearance, and I really don't know why, because it is absolutely gorgeous, except perhaps Debbie's now moved on and got other Digi Kits that she'd like to promote at the moment. But this one is such a delight. It actually puts you in mind as you go through it a little bit of Alice in Wonderland without all the caricatures, but it really is lovely. So I went on and I've made my album, my handbag album, using these glorious papers. I have continued to use my glossy accent. It just works so well with these papers. They are a little bit on the dark side, but when you put something like this on and it's caught in the light, it just lifts it immensely and lets you see the intricacy of the design, which is really quite lovely. And also little things like the scroll work and the background patterning, if you like, of the papers. So I've done my usual. I've kept a pocket on the front, decorated the top, utilised scraps of paper. This is a cat. It's so fun. It's just a little fun little cat there, but it just works so well. And I've just put those onto the larger of the tags, and they are just plain on the back, ready for addressing or writing someone's name on. But there are cats and dogs within the paper, and as they're not totally traditional, they're actually quite eye-catching, and they jump out off the page quite nicely. So I'll put those there. I've put a little bit of lace across the front pocket, as you can see, easily gotten into. The same lace I've put in layers either side of the spine, and then I've used just an ordinary bit of plain pearl trim to decorate the spine and keep it tidy. And that's another piece. There are the cats there, look, aren't they fun? I just think it's a lovely kit. And you know, if it is still available on clearance and you like this kind of thing, I do suggest you run over to EphemeraVintage Garden and just get the kit. It's absolutely wonderful. It worked out to be £3 and something in English money, because of course EphemeraVintage Garden is over in America, and there were approximately 16 different pages with ephemera and little cutouts and that kind of thing to utilise along the way. So it really is extraordinary value for money. And you know, I don't know how Debbie does it really. I just love even the funky hearts here. If I bring this up, I'm aware of a bit of shadowing, and I do apologise, it's that time of day, but even these funky hearts, they're just so lovely, and it's so different from a lot of things that are actually on the site, which is another thing that attracted me. I've just used my crocodile to put little eyelets in, and then some seam binding for closure, which keeps it all together really quite nicely. I have, as I've already said, sealed the gussets on the bag because I didn't want it to be too chunky. What I wanted was to be able to utilise the packets that are already on the bags by virtue of how they're made, and the top loading pockets here, which really will hold a great deal of lovely little goodies if that was what you wanted to do. Now on the side here I've just put a doily and covered the workings of the back of the eyelet there. I just felt that was a bit tidier. Again, I've used the glossy accent and a little bit of bling just to help that banner situation jump out. There's a lovely little girl here with a little doggett down at the bottom wearing a crown. I've just highlighted aspects of her dress just to make it pop off the page, and it really does work so well. On the other side here is the little bird with the little coffee jar or biscuit caddy or whatever you'd like to call it. And the pocket there, I've just made this lovely little notebook in the usual way, stitched in the centre, held together, but it's ideal if you just want to jot a few notes down or even fill those pages with memorabilia. Nothing clearly is beyond what you might want to do with it once it's in your possession. But the teapot is lovely. There's another little cupcake here on the bottom, a little bird coming out from behind the teapot. These lovely little hearts up here. Whoops! And then on the back you've got pretty much the same design, it's just that the cupcake is different, but as a whole that was one whole piece of ephemera that you could cut in half if you wanted to and just use for gift tags or labels or something of that nature. It's a very, very versatile kit. I just love it. I worried when I first printed it out because I thought, oh my gosh, it's a bit dark, but as you get into it, it really has got that almost, as I said, Alice in Wonderland feel to it. I don't know if it's all the cakes or the birds or the little figures, but that's what it puts me in mind of. And then the next page is, I've fussy cut out this image. I'll take my little bags out there and just anchored it to the page on a tiny little creased tab there, and you'll see more of the lovely design work. It really is lovely. I love it. Absolutely gorgeous. So that comes over, and you've got the two little girls here, or young ladies, and they're clearly deciding which cake they want to eat off the stand and making a few purchases, which is what us girls like to do. And then I made a couple of these bags myself, and this was from a video by Sabrina Oriskova, and it just shows you how to make these bags, which are ideal for journals. And you just stamp them out of stamp the craft paper, make the bag shape, and just add a little bit of bling or whatever pleases you, and then they can slot into your journal for extra places to hold lots of goodies. And that's the only thing that I've put in that is not from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. All the rest has been from the kit that I purchased. On this side, all of these tabs came as you see them here. This is the shape of them, and all I've done is backed them onto paper, put a little bit of bling on the tab, and that really is just to highlight, because the paper is patterned and you may not see it at first glance. It just highlights each of the little waterfall pages I've put a little bit more of the digital design paper in between to hide the whiteness, but there's lots and lots of room for either photographs or journaling within the waterfall. And then I've just finished it at the end. So, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tabs there, which makes a nice little waterfall scenario for photographs or journaling or keepsakes, as I've already said. These are the last 2 pages on the back, and I've just made a couple of fold over tabs here from cut-offs from the paper. It really does go on and on and on. You could actually make a considerable sized album or a really nice junk journal using these papers as well. But I chose to do this because this is, you know, what I'm liking to do at the moment. I will go on and photocopy it again and probably do a more formal journal with it in the weeks ahead. But there is the penny farthing here, which is absolutely gorgeous, with the bird on top. And again, I've used the glossy accents more to infer the wing. It's not absolutely solid. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. It's a bit scratchy, but I wanted to imagine that the wing was there. I've used rather a large eye here and just used the same bling on the centre of the penny farthing. And then at the bottom here is a lovely glorious cup and saucer with the steam going up into the top of the pocket there, which is hidden by the bit of lace. But again, I wanted to highlight the pocket. I wanted it all to look as lovely as I feel it's come out. Here's another little notched out area, reinforcing the fact that it's a pocket. And then in the end pocket here are some more little cutouts like so. And again, the glossy accent just brings it out and makes all that detail pop, and at the same time doesn't detract from all the hard work that Debbie's put into designing the kit. And here is another with the teacup and the bird, and again the glossy accents, and another little piece of ephemera here, which is rather lovely. I've just left that to speak for itself because it really is beautiful. And then the final page here, which clearly is another pocket with the little girl, and there is a cat. It's just hidden by the pocket. I've just got the cat peeping out over the top of the pocket there. Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I would recommend that you go and have a look if you like doing these kinds of projects with the DigiPaper, because this kit has actually been a real lovely thing to work with, and I am really pleased with how it's come together and how it looks now that it's all finished. So I'll take the opportunity again to thank you for your time and to say do go along to Ephemera Vintage Garden if you have the time and the inclination, and just check out the very lovely kits that are available on her shop and get cracking, because you know Christmas is coming. There will be people that you want to make little things for, and I know it's a naughty word at this time of the year, but you really can't start on making gifts too soon for that special time. So thank you very much. Happy crafting everyone. Take care for now. Bye bye.